since you mentioned your internship process at Instagram, can you tell us more about your work? Since everyone here knows that you worked on Reels.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I can say there. I will say that like the Reels team is probably one of the like best things I could have gotten. I feel extremely fortunate to work on this product. It's also just like such a unique, I think, like problem space and like I don't know, just a very unique like team to be on in these times. Um, yeah, I mean, in terms
Okay,
of actual work, yeah, I don't know
in
how
terms
much I can
of deep
say.
diving into your team, let's talk about your experience at Instagram as a designer holistically.
Sure, yeah,
How
totally.
was your experience? What kind of a paradise is Instagram for a designer?
Okay, I don't think anything's a paradise. I think everything has its problems, and you know, everything can has areas of improvement. Um, but I will say this is probably one of those places where I feel like I've met so many people who openly acknowledge that there are problems, and where there are problems that there are actions. Um, yeah, I mean, my experience as a designer, I guess, at this company in general is just like so different from last summer. I think like there's very visible like big company there's very visible benefits to being at a big company. um, like the design team is absolutely massive at Facebook in general, and within Instagram it's smaller but still like really really big. So the benefits that come with that is just like I've been able to talk to literally whoever I want. I can message them, and if they're like a designer I've looked up to, you know, like they're willing to have 30 minutes with me, and that's probably been like the most priceless thing I could ever ask for. um, I feel like the relationships I've like generated at this company are really just like really really, you know, priceless. um, I think like Instagram just has a very big it's not that the designer, it's not that the entire company, I don't want to say, is like design focused. There is a high level, like a high bar for craft and simplicity, I think. But it's also that every other team outside of design values design. And that's something that I feel in my experience has been very unique. When I talk to engineers, they like make product suggestions. You know, there are content strategists who question visual design decisions, and just kind of this interoperability between all the teams, just really caring about the product at the end of the day is probably like the best thing. And it's what makes, you know, like Instagram really fun to work at, because, you know, everyone just cares a lot and everyone's very invested in the product. You want to, you know, help out with some other team, like you can just hit up a designer who's working on the thing and ask them if they're open to collaboration. And, you know, most of the time they are.
Tell us more about the Instagram team, the design team at Instagram. What's the team size? What is the structure, and how do you guys operate?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, because of COVID, I think I may not be the best like estimator for this kind of stuff. I will say that there are various teams, obviously. Like there's the Reels team, there's stories, there's camera, there's like well-being. Um, and everyone kind of focuses on their own thing in a way. But at the same time, like we all, because the design team is like small enough where everyone can chat with each other, there is a lot of like, you know, if you like if you go and check out say someone's work and they've been working on a specific, you know, part of the app, for example, like if they're working on the camera and you're starting to think that like maybe this feature would that you're working on, like, you know, on home would fit well on the camera, then like you can go talk to that person and kind of riff off ideas there. I think everyone's also just very very intentional, and the like that's another I think big factor. um, I don't think anyone makes any decisions without there being a solid set of reasons that the entire team has kind of been aligned on. Um, However, there's a lot of ownership. Like that's probably one of the bigger things that surprised me, because I'm not really used to that. Coming in on the team, I had like starter projects and a couple main projects, and like, I mean, the first time I walked into a design crit, with like a final design kind of, like near the end of my starter project, I actually was like expecting to have like a vote almost in my head. I was just like, oh, are we all just gonna vote on like the best one option here? And like my manager, I think we had a one-on-one after, and he was like, no, you make the decision based on the feedback and what you think is the best choice. Like we all have trust that you will make the right decision. And I think that reinforces it, right? Like the design team has a very high level of trust with each other. So like if someone is working on something and you're very passionate about that, but you trust the other designer will do a good enough job, and they will like, you know, really be thorough and intentional about how they're solving the problem.
That's really good stuff. I like how the team at the company emphasizes a lot on responsibility and ownership, is what you mentioned.
Yep.
So tell me more about the Reels team. How many members were there, and what was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. The Reels team, I don't want to throw any numbers because the Reels team is like always changing, I think,
Okay.
in terms of like the size. Yeah, I mean, you know, like when a product launches, like depending on how it does, like we definitely like change and people work on stuff. I I mean, the Reels team was very, I think like this isn't like a thing that, you know, just kind of came about overnight, or even like this summer. Like it's been a long time coming. And like you can find news articles from a while back, you know, when they started looking into this short form video. Um, yeah, like the Reels team specifically, I think is just very unique also in terms of design, in that like there are so many designers that I think are tenured, but also they're tenured designers, but they're also like I think younger designers, which is awesome because like it's like kind of provides a good balance of like here's how this gigantic company and this massive product works, and you know here's how we make it, like this is how we need to have it fit into the ecosystem at the same time with like all of these user needs, trends, and I think like cultural affiliation that like younger designers may be more in tune with. Not to say like older designers aren't in tune with it, but I think like there's definitely like a difference between trying to tackle like the teen audience from outside versus like having kind of grown up with this product.